I was born poor, but I will not die poor. These were the words of a young boy from a small village. His house was made of mud. The roof leaked when it rained, his clothes were torn, and many nights he went to bed with an empty stomach. His mother often said, "Son, tonight we have no food." And quietly, he drank water and slept. The villagers mocked him and laughed, saying, "This boy was born with nothing, and he will die with nothing." But deep in his heart, he repeated to himself, "No, I will not die poor. My fate will change." During the day, he worked in the fields, his hands blistered from the hard labor, his skin darkened by the burning sun. At night, however, when everyone else slept, he lit a small oil lamp and studied whatever scraps of books he could find. Sometimes he borrowed old, torn pages from others. Sometimes he pieced together broken notebooks. People laughed at him, saying, "Books cannot fill your stomach." He smiled and replied, "Food lasts only for a day, but knowledge lasts for a lifetime." His hunger for wisdom became stronger than his hunger for bread, and this hunger prepared him for a future no one imagined. Years passed, and his reputation for wisdom spread far beyond his village. People traveled from distant towns just to hear him speak. His words carried weight, his voice carried truth, and his heart carried sincerity. Eventually, the king himself heard of his wisdom. The king announced he needed a new minister, someone whose wisdom, honesty, and courage would guide the kingdom. Great scholars, judges, and advisors from all across the land gathered in the royal court. The king tested them one by one with difficult questions about life, justice, and leadership. Many failed. Some tried to give clever answers, others used flattery, but none satisfied the king. Then came the boy's turn. Now, a young man, he entered the grand court in simple clothes, but with eyes shining with confidence. People laughed at him, saying, "This poor villager will answer the king," but he stood tall. The king asked, "What is the true sign of justice?" The young man answered calmly, "When the poor receive the same rights as the rich, then justice is complete." The king asked another question, "What is the greatest strength of a ruler?" The young man replied, "A king's strength is not in his sword, but in the hearts of his people. If they love him, his rule will last. If they hate him, even the strongest throne will collapse." The court fell silent. Every noble, every scholar was stunned. The king rose from his throne and declared, "You will be my minister. There is no one wiser than you in this kingdom." From that day forward, the boy who once starved at night now sat beside the king as his most trusted advisor. But power did not change him. He remained humble and fair, serving the people with honesty. Wherever he saw injustice, he corrected it. The people loved him and began calling him the Minister of Justice. Years passed, and the old king grew weak and eventually died. He had no son to inherit the throne, only a daughter, the princess. For years, she had observed the minister closely. She had seen his loyalty, his humility, and his unmatched wisdom. In her heart, she thought, no man could be a better partner than him. He is not only wise, but also brave and just. And so, she chose him as her husband. The kingdom celebrated their union with great joy. Soon, the minister was crowned king. The boy who once studied under the faint light of a lamp, who had suffered hunger, poverty, and humiliation, now sat upon a golden throne. From poverty to greatness, from ridicule to respect, from a simple boy to a sultan. But this story is not just about wealth or a crown. It is about patience, wisdom, and the power of knowledge. Because money can be stolen, power can be taken, but true knowledge always raises you above all. Knowledge can take even the poorest of boys and make him a king.